The luxury car dealership was buzzing with energy as high-end clients browsed the latest models, their polished exteriors gleaming under the showroom lights. Keanu Reeves walked in, dressed casually in a worn-out jacket, jeans, and a baseball cap. He admired a sleek sports car, running his fingers along its glossy surface, lost in thought. Nearby, a salesman named Jake noticed him and instinctively stepped forward. But before he could speak, the dealership manager, David, intercepted. David's eyes flickered to Keanu's cap before curling his lips in distaste. "Excuse me, sir, are you lost?" Keanu raised an eyebrow. "No, just looking." David chuckled. "We don't really do window shopping here. These cars start at $200,000. Keanu remained calm. "I know," David smirked. "Well then, I assume you're just here to take pictures?" A few nearby customers laughed under their breath. Keanu looked him straight in the eye. "Actually, I was thinking of buying one." The air in the room shifted slightly, but David's arrogance didn't waver. "Look, buddy, we don't have time for jokes. Let's not waste each other's time, all right?" A silence settled between them as Keanu studied the manager's face. Jake shifted uncomfortably, sensing the tension. He opened his mouth to speak, but David shot him a glare. "Jake, don't bother," he said coldly. "Serious buyers only." Keanu exhaled through his nose, nodding slightly. "Got it." He turned as if to leave, his hands in his pockets. Just as he reached the door, another voice rang out across the room. "Is there a problem here?" The entire showroom froze. Heads turned as an older man in a tailored gray suit stepped forward. His presence alone demanded respect. David immediately straightened up. "Mr. Callahan, no problem at all. I was just assisting this gentleman out." Callahan's sharp eyes landed on Keanu. He studied him for a moment, his expression shifting into something unreadable. "Wait a minute," he murmured. "Keanu Reeves?" A hushed gasp spread through the room. The rich couple who had chuckled earlier stiffened, their amusement vanishing instantly. Jake's eyes widened in realization, but the most dramatic reaction came from David, whose face drained of all color. Callahan took a step closer, his tone now carrying an air of urgency. "Mr. Reeves, it's an honor. What brings you in today?" Keanu glanced at the car he had been admiring. "I was thinking about buying that one," he said casually. The weight of his words settled over the entire dealership like a thunderclap. David visibly swallowed. "Sir, I didn't realize." Keanu tilted his head. "You didn't ask." Callahan's jaw clenched. His gaze flickered to David. "Let me get this straight," he said slowly. "You refused to assist a customer without even knowing who he was?" David stammered, his hands shaking slightly. "Sir, I thought he was not worth your time?" Callahan interrupted, his voice razor-sharp. The silence that followed was deafening. Keanu crossed his arms, waiting. Callahan turned to him, his face apologetic. "Mr. Reeves, please accept my sincerest apologies. If you're still interested, I'd be honored to personally assist you." Keanu exhaled, his expression unreadable. "I appreciate that," he said, "but I think I've made up my mind." David's relief was short-lived as Keanu turned toward Jake. "You work on commission, right?" Jake hesitated before nodding. "Yes, sir." Keanu nodded. "Good. I'll be buying this car, but not from this dealership. I'll be placing the order at a different branch, and I want Jake to receive the commission." The room went silent again, but this time the tension was suffocating. David's face contorted in horror as realization hit him like a truck. He had just cost himself one of the biggest sales of his career. Callahan smirked slightly, shaking his head. "Well, David, I hope that lesson was worth your paycheck." David tried to protest. "Sir, I didn't mean—" "That's the problem," Callahan cut in sharply. "You never thought past the surface." David shrank back, his confidence shattered. Meanwhile, Jake stood frozen, disbelief washing over him. "Mr. Reeves, I don't know what to say," he said finally. Keanu smiled. "Just keep treating people right. It'll take you far." He patted Jake on the shoulder and turned toward the door. As Keanu stepped outside, a few customers hurried to get a picture, whispering excitedly. The same people who had smirked earlier now looked embarrassed, avoiding his gaze. Jake stood near the entrance, still processing what had just happened. Callahan placed a firm hand on his shoulder. Looks like you've got a future here, kid. Jake gave a small nod, still in shock. Inside, David stood frozen, his career in jeopardy. He had judged a man by his clothes only to realize too late who he was dealing with. Keanu Reeves didn't just buy a car that day, he bought justice. As he walked away, he slipped his phone from his pocket and sent a message to his assistant.